Wait, I feel it. The next meta. I'm not an expert, but whoa, the sky's talking to me. I see the message from the moon. Next meta will be 2nd Infantry UK. I'm more at your level now. People always ask for context for these quotes. This was said to me when I said that 2nd would be really good before it was released. This is the deck review for Vet3OP in the game you're about to see. So we're going to dive into it tab by tab. I will start by saying that I don't really play 8th, and so I am of limited help. This is a fairly standard tab. MUT CP for 3 CVs. You've got your standard 20-point tracked supply, 5,000 supply in a card. Then you've got your standard 20-point wheeled supply, so also 5,000 supply in a card. The advantage of the tracked one is that it survives artillery. The advantage of the wheeled one is that it's faster. And then you get the Chinook supply, Blackhawk supply even, because this is actually 6,000 supply per card. And you can now decant from helicopters into trucks. You can decant the supply. Other option, you could get 5,000 supply in this really lightly armoured truck, and then it'll die, and you'll just commit Sudoku. You could get this if you want a really armoured CV. You could get this if you want to do meme strats and drop a heli CV on somebody. But heli-borne infantry CVs are always going to be better than helicopter CVs, because once you drop the infantry off, then you're good. Whereas this, the helicopter has to stay there, and the helicopter's going to die. Infantry tab. So military police, great for openers and generally being annoying, because these M67s can shoot at infantry and at vehicles with quite a large range, 1400 meters. And so you can trade with autocannon vehicles and kill lightly armed vehicles, or just pour 6 of them into a person, and then they're suppressed. Fire team law M113A3, so fire team law 6 strength, 30 points. The M113A3 used to be 3 armor, now it's 2, but it's still very good for sponging, and it's got a 50 cal. Thing is, it doesn't have smoke, but it can usually takes 2 hits to kill because of the 2 front armor, and that makes it very powerful for 20 points. And the 50 cals is always useful for fire support. It's just really good at suppressing people. M113 Dragon is your other option, and that's 5 points more for a Dragon, which honestly I think is worth it. I would honestly, well, depends what you want to do. Depends what you want to do. If you want to push, then if you think about it, if you're going to buy 4 of these, then you're going to have 20 points, which lets you get something else maybe. So the advantage of the Dragon one is that it's got Dragon on it. It's only a Dragon 1 though, so it's not the best. But it contributes to the fire in the push. And that's what 8th's all about. It's about this kind of early to mid-game push with a bunch of M113s with Abrams behind and infantry in front. And that is what you'll see in the game. Spoilers. So you'll notice that these are all at 1 vet. And that's because our man Vet3OP out here plays very aggressively, and so he likes to spam these guys, or maybe he's just trying it out. And he knows they're going to die, so he brings them at 1 vet so he can get 36 of them together. So this fire team 84, these guys are in Humvees though, so they're good for the start of the game to secure ground with your military police. And Engineer Dragon in another M113A3. Engineer Dragon 10 strength, but only a Dragon 1. That's interesting. I could have sworn that was Dragon 2, guess not. The advantage of them is 10 strength, so they're really hard to kill and they're shooting dragons at you all the time. Thing is, 1 vet means that they're going to get stunned, and as soon as they get stunned, because this is classed as manual guidance, it'll fly off course. Ito in the truck is very popular because this is really interesting, actually. I wonder if he was testing something. So usually people bring the Ito like this. Instead he's brought it at 1 vet, so you get 8 of them. Thing is, if you're spending 800 points on Itos, that's a lot of points. And then he also brings the TOW 2 at 1 vet. So this is, 800 plus 360, so that's 1,160, is that right? I think so. 1,160 points on tows. I mean, you're going to get a rebate on these vehicles, so it's going to be a bit less than 1,000 actually because of rebates. Aero rifles in a helicopter. So, you know, these can always be useful. I've been experimenting with this a lot as well. You just have one card of guys in helicopters, and sometimes if the enemy's got an unexposed flank, you can be in there pretty fast. And with them having 8 strength, it takes 2 man-pad hits to kill them, so they can survive. Sometimes it can be useful. Brought it 2 vet because there's no way he's going to be buying 9 of them, basically. Mech Rifle's leader in the M113A3, so I'm quite surprised that they're not in a truck, because obviously if they're in a truck they can get there faster. Thing is, if you bring them in this, then you can use that M113A3 for your push, or you could keep them inside it and maybe they'll survive. And then engineers with the satchel charges. So I always used to complain about engineer flash, but they don't do so much damage anymore. Really no one does, but they're very good at suppressing. Whereas the satchel charges still do the same amount of damage they've always done. And so the satchel charges are pretty cool now. Mortar, so he's got this choice between a 107mm mortar and an 81mm mortar. So I think the 107 is better in every way, because the fire rate's the same for some reason, range, HE, but he used the 80. Yeah, he saved himself 10 points. You get 1 more availability. Supply cost is lower, I suppose, although it has more ammo. But yeah, the smoke is less good, the explosion is less good. I think 82 mils are a bit rubbish, but to be honest, Vet3OP here uses it extremely effectively in the game. And then 2 cards of M110A2, so, you know, everybody's complaining artillery's still bad, but these do quite well in this game. They don't do as well as they used to. They're not so good against armoured targets, which is good. But they're great for, you know, suppressing people. And damaging them. Not necessarily killing them. For free, basically, because it's not like anybody can shoot you back unless they counter battery, which isn't particularly useful. You tend to survive, particularly with these armoured ones. Although you'll notice that it's got less than 1 top armour, so it takes increased damage from counter battery. And that's because these guys would be stood on the back reloading this, I believe. M60A3 TTS, so this is basically this with this is what makes 8th so potent in the early game, because you spam these cheap tanks, cheap serviceable tanks. 10 front armor's not fantastic, but it's enough to tank, you know, 2 hits from most things. Well, it's enough to tank and survive 1 hit from most things. M1A1 Abrams, so so the M1 is good. The M1A1 obviously has a max range gun, 2 more pen, things like that. So he brings those on 2 vets so he can get 8, and then he brings this, which I think's a bit garbage if I'm being entirely honest. Don't see the point of it. Toe 2, wow. I mean, you can get Toe 2. Infantry is probably better, 3 strength. Unlike the packed ones, these guys are 3 strength, so 2 strength. You pay more for it though. Whereas these are, you know, it's still 100 points, and yeah, okay, you get 12. Amazing. But the stealth is mediocre. So you shoot, and then while you're fired, your stealth goes down to bad. Then the enemy sees you, and then he kills you. And I don't think they get smoke. So maybe he was just trying them out. And then another card of M1A1, so actually 3 cards of M1A1. Recon. LRS, fantastic. So I've been told that the Special Forces thing doesn't do anything, and it's just a placebo, so that's a sad time for all involved. But they do get GSR and 6 strength. So GSR means that they'll get exceptional optics as soon as they stand still. It's really useful. ACAV in scouts, this is ubiquitous. So the ACAV is really good because it's got the 50 car, it's got 2 armor, used to have 3. And it's got this recoilless rifle with 17 pen and stuff, and it gets mediocre stealth. So when you fire, your stealth goes down to bad, but that doesn't matter with this because it's like a tank gun. It fires really fast. The projectile fires really fast. And so you put the scouts behind, the scouts in front, the ACAV behind, and you can get a lot done with this. It's a very strong combination, especially for 35 points. It's quite cheap for what it is, really. Like, if you think you can either get this or you can get this. I mean, this, yeah, obviously Like, what's the point of this? Very good optics, I guess. And then always bring a recon helicopter. He brings the exceptional optics recon helicopter 100 pointer. You could bring the very good optics 80 pointer at 6 availability. This is only 3 availability, so I actually prefer this one because I'm always losing them, whereas if you keep it alive, this is obviously better. And then you could pay 155 points for this, but, you know, it's got 4 HP, so down 1 mad pad hit, and, you know, then it's very expensive. So he brought chaparrals at 2 vet. Interesting that they're at 2 vet, because obviously the accuracy gain is not great, but it's in case they get suppressed by artillery, I suppose. Or a miss. Like a miss will suppress them. Stingers, very good. Great for... because they've got exceptional stealth. They're good in pushes. You can move them up with your pushes. Pivhads is very good at stunning helicopters. It can do it basically straight away. Stunning helicopters and aircraft, but it doesn't do any damage, really. It doesn't do a lot of damage. You need a lot of them to kill a plane. But it stuns them straight away. So that's great in your pushes as well. Eyehawk's always great because it just, you know, pew, and then you kill somebody across the map, the entire width of the map. But yeah, I mean, if you're planning to go aggressive, you need short range stuff. Helicopters, 1 card Cobras, 1 card tow Cobras, not much to say there. Cobras unarmored, of course, but Ito's good, rockets good. More rockets on this one. They keep going up in price. So 2 cards of ASF for air superiority, and then 2 cards of cluster. So that's really interesting, actually. I mean, I would have gone, personally, although I don't play 8th a lot, I would have gone 1 card of ASF, 1 card of cluster, 1 card of A10 Thunderbolt, and then another card of A10 Thunderbolt. These things are so good at killing tanks and stuff. They're survivable. Maybe 1 card of A10 and 1 card of Wild Weasel, although playing against second Wild Weasel not particularly effective, although he didn't know that going into the game, because that's just a ranked game. This is the deck. I'll edit that part out if I remember. Deck review for 2nd Infantry Division, played by Hippie, myself. So tab by tab, I mean, if you've seen the previous ones, it's really not very different. Not sure why I have 24 javelins. Anyway, so I thought I brought 3 cards of supply, but I don't. 1 sec. 2, 6, 7. Okay, so I've got 7 CVs, whereas, you know, 5 would be okay, so maybe get rid of this and put an extra Bedford in. I like to run 3 cards of supply, but yeah, Bedford supply, 35 plants for 1,000 supply, so it's alright, and 5,000 supply in a card. Chinooks, 6,000 supply in a card, and it's also 35 points per 1,000 supply. And you can decant supply from the Chinook into the Bedford, so you can leave the Chinook at the back. So that's great, you get lots of supply. Saxon CP is fantastic because it gets smoke, and it's really good off-road. So it's pretty good, whereas this, you know, for 5 points less you get good off-road speed, no smoke, no armor. So small arms can shoot you. 1 sec, I'm gonna cough. Oh man, I'm on voice activation as well, so that's not gonna be good. Yeah, this dies more, but you get 1 more in a card. You could also get this, which is not as fast, not got smoke. I don't really think this is very good when you can get this. Puma, so this is also 6,000 supply in a card, but you'll note that this is 1,000 supply per Puma, so if you double that, that's 90, whereas this 2,000 supply is 70. This 2,000 supply is 90, so obviously the Chinook's better. Puma, you get more of them though, so if you lose it, not a big deal. Infantry. SAS, you kind of need SAS. They're very, very good. I'm surprised... Oh no, it is in the Saxon, that's good. Saxons are great because they're good off-road speed. The Bedfords don't have that, and they get smoke, so you can smoke and load. And then maybe the SAS will survive. And they get forward deployment. They're basically one of your best units. Sadly, Special Forces doesn't do anything, but whatever. They get the forward deployment, they get AA, so you've got forward deployed AA, forward deployed AT, forward deployed infantry all in one. They're not cheap. It's 80 points. And they will lose a fight to any normal infantry, but with infantry damage being so low this patch, that's not a big deal. You'll have plenty of time to run away. Sorry about that. So air mobiles in a Lynx, as I spoke about in the other one. So the air mobiles are cool, they get the loyalty, they get 9 strength. They're quite expensive at 60 points. 2 LSWs. And the Lynx is a decent transport for its price. I mean, I feel like it should be a bit faster. The Lynx is the fastest helicopter in the world, I believe. Fastest production helicopter in the world. Max damage 6 means it'll survive 1 man-pad shot. Well, not 2, but it's cheap. And you can sell it. And it's got 1 machine gun on the door, which isn't very useful, but it's better than nothing. So, Saxons, air mobile. So this is the same guys, but in the Saxon. Lore 80, I just bring them for the lore 80s, really. They're not cheap. 9 strength, though. 2 vet, and you'll notice that most of my infantry's on 2 vet. Not all of it, though. Maybe these guys could be on 2 vet. And then arm rifles in the Warrior Milan. So, arm rifles, bad AT, 7 strength, 45 points, 2 support weapons. So this is your bread and butter, basically. You're getting them for the IFE and the infantry sponges. Right now, infantry doesn't deal too much damage. So the infantry sponges and delays, and the IFE does the damage. 5 points for a Milan, I think, is worth it. If it was 10, I wouldn't get it. Oh, well, I would get it for this division. Terrier Pioneers, so you've got the choice between Terrier Pioneers and Assault Pioneers. Assault Pioneers, 5 points more, because they get better small arms, but 1 less man. So I want the extra men. Britain, of course, does not get flamethrowers or napalm. Terriers are quite good in the current meta because of their spongy ability. 40 points but 8 strength, 40 points. 12 availability at 1 vet, and that's important, right? So you could get these guys, who are 5 points less, 12 availability, 11 strength, at no vet. And so that means they're going to rout straight away, and they get this reservist trait, because they're cowards, like it says on the screen. So they get suppressed dead easy, and they don't act as effective sponges because they start running away. Whereas for 5 points more, sure, you get 3 less guys, but they'll stay there longer, which is what you want them to do, really, because if they run away behind your tanks, then they're no longer serving their purpose. Having said that, maybe I should try Heimat Schutzen. I'm not sure how much I'd feel this. Wombat is cool. I brought it at 2 vet, and in the game I run out, so I'm just going to do that now. Yeah, so it's good to put in buildings, and then it shoots. Obviously, if this was 6, then I'd do that, but it's not, it's 4, and I ran out. And the Terriers AT group, these guys are fantastic for just running around forests with their Carl Gustav and just pew, and then they get a kill. And if they get 1 transport, they've paid for themselves, they've almost paid for themselves because transports are 20. And they'll usually get more than that, and so that's why I get them at 1 vet, because I'm supposed to spam them and infiltrate them into the forest just everywhere, like trees, like tree roots. I was going to say it's like a cancerous growth, but maybe that's not the best analogy. Having said that, we play on Geisa today, and these aren't useful there because there's not much forest. I could have sent 1 round the side, really. And then I was experimenting with air mobile leaders in the Lynxes, because I wanted to do like an airdrop, and you'll see something in the game. I don't want to say too much. I think the 81mm is bad, so I bring the 120mm. So you might say, whoa, half the price, but it's not, because this is 65 and this is 40, so it's 2/3 the price. Then you've got some choices here. The light guns, for some reason, the British light guns, they have more range, which is cool, but they cost like 40 points more than the American one, which is just sad, so I don't bring them out of spite. If they cost 60 points, I'd bring them, but they cost 100. 135, you can get something really juicy, which is this 155mm. And that is a lot better, almost twice the HE. Less fire rate, higher aim time, but you want it for the HE, really. So these are good, and this is a viable option. Your other option is this, which costs twice as much, but it does a bit more HE and a bit more suppression and has more range. And it's weird. To be honest, I think the L121 is better, and I think I brought the wrong one. But I like this because it just doesn't die to counter battery, basically. It's like the American one, except smaller. Less than 1 top armor, but because of how artillery works right now, this doesn't die to counter battery, whereas this I have to micro it more. And I prefer having the lower micro burden, even if I have to pay twice as much. Having said that, ooh, maybe I should have brought these. How much is this? 1 point. And then I can't spend that 1 point anyway. I'll do that later, but it's up to you. Maybe these are better if you can micro. Tanks. So you get 2 cards of challenges, and if you bring them at 1 vet, then you can't take advantage of their armor because they get stunned straight away. And you do gain veterancy by murdering people in the field of combat. You do learn things from that. But you have to get more points killed than your cost. And so it's very difficult to level these guys up because you need 290 points worth of kills at least. I don't even know, it might even be more than that. So I bring them at 2 vex. If I bring them at 1, then I only get 2. And so I think 4 is reasonable. And I also bring the Challenger Command, which comes at 2 vet anyway. And it's 30 points more for a Challenger Command. And it's exactly the same. So you only get 1 in a card instead of 2. I wonder if that's on purpose, because it's a heavier one. Iltis Milan, so these used to be 20, but they're still good. Your other option is a Rover Milan for 40, but you get 12 Iltis Milans at 2 vet, which is fantastic. Having said that, you know, they're probably not going to survive a shot because of what they are. So the veterancy not so important. The Rovers you get 9. The Milan 2 is obviously a bit better. Not that much better. Well, it is a lot better actually. So I might try the Rover Milan. One thing I don't bring is these, which a lot of people swear by, but I bring IFVs for my light killing duties. Having said that, if somebody's charging towards you with a bunch of IFVs, it would have been really useful to have 3 of these just pew 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 killing all of the IFVs, and I don't have that in the game. So if you can fit this in somewhere, I'd put it in, but where are you going to make your sacrifices? Always bring a recon helicopter. Boxes just keep getting nerfed over and over and over again. They're now 3 availability at 1 vet for 70 points. It's an absolute tragedy. But that's, you know, you don't have many choices. I mean, this is obviously really not good. Really not good. That's 20 points. I might bring it. And then you've got WKsVEgcRFOwAGMoAAgA, which are absolutely fantastic. 11 strength is their main advantage, so they can provide recon for a very long time by taking ages to die. Lots of people get them. They're ubiquitous. That's a new word I've learned, and I've just been using it constantly. And then Terrier Scouts. So Terrier Scouts don't have an AT option. 30 points. 12 availability. 4 strength. Your other options are regular Scouts, which cost 20 points more for an AT, which isn't even good. And you get 3 less availability. They can come in a Gazelle if you want, I guess. But yeah, I don't think they're fantastic. Mobile Scouts, which are 8 strength, but that's what my... Ooh, that's interesting. So for the loss of 3 strength, you save quite a lot of points. You save 25 points. But you don't have an AT option. And small arms right now are just very bad. So the WKsVEgcRFOwAGMoAAgA I prefer because of their high strength, but the case could be made for these guys if you want to save some money and still have a reasonably good strength. AA, so for some reason I bring 24 javelins, which that's really interesting. I don't know why I do that. Oh, that's 1 as well. What was that thing I wanted to buy? Oh, this, but that's 3. Whatever, I'll think about it later. So, Rapier FSA is the radar one. So it's got decent range. Missiles suppressing hasn't been implemented yet. I believe it's on you know, they've spoken about it in the official Discord a lot, so they're still looking into it. And so yeah, this has more range than the tracked rapier, but not actually that much more range, and so yeah, it's got higher accuracy though. The range is a bit weird actually. Why is that? Why is that not better? You'd think that would have gone up with all the other ones, but oh, I think it's because the tracked rapier one went up and the FSA one didn't go up so much, or didn't go up at all, and now the tracked rapier is actually really good. Tracked rapier also, you get twice as much per card, comes in at 1 instead of 2, and it can move. And you don't have radar. So at this point, honestly, maybe right now the rapier FSA is a bit useless. At which point you could get rid of this, get rid of this, get rid of this, put this in, get rid of this, and then I've got 3 points and I can get that. So there's lots of ways you can build this deck. The one I upload will be the one where I haven't done that. This is just sort of value added, I suppose, but I'm going to try this next. Air tab, Lynx Hellarm, good. Itos, cheap for what it is. I mean, it's pretty good for standoff. You know, if somebody's pushing towards you, you just put one of these over your guys, and then he's got to bring up his AA, or you're just going to keep hitting him. Gazelle Rocket's my favorite helicopter in the game. You use them in 2s, always use them in 2s, shoot the rockets, go back, shoot the rockets, go back, shoot the rockets, go back, and these guys do really well in the game you're about to see. Air tab, Phantom F3 AA, my least favourite air unit in the game. Price keeps coming down, which is nice, but it's just so garbage. It's just so bad. If it got the same Sky Flash as the Tornado, that'd be cool. But then the price would have to go up. As it stands, slow, bad, generally bad. You don't have many other options. What are you going to do? Bring a Harrier? You'll never reach. Jaguar Cluster's cool. Clusters obviously don't one-shot tanks anymore, but sometimes it's cool to get that. Oh, there is no seed. There's no seed. The Harrier rocket's really interesting because it can sort of shoot rockets out the side. It's got this really interesting rocket shooting ability. And so that's cool for killing infantry now that bombs are a bit rubbish. But the Jaguar GR1 is still pretty good on the bomb front. Maybe the GR... I can't remember which one's the good one. It's probably not this one. It's probably this one. Whatever. Whichever one works for you. Obviously, your deck should be an extension of yourself as opposed to... Don't just try to copy me one for one. You need to think about what you're doing and why you're doing it. Okay, I just had a game where I won, and I really wanted to upload that one, but I was trying voice activation, and it didn't bloody work. And now I'm having a game against Vet3OP, and he's playing as 8th, and I'm playing as 2nd. And 2nd's bad, if you didn't know already. If you don't play Warno, this division's kind of trash, and this division's kind of not trash, and this player's kind of better than me. So I have pre-prepared cope. How do we not die? Well, knowing my opponent, he will attack me with lots of cheap rubbish, including M113A3s backed up by M60 pattern tanks across here. But I believe I get here into his zone first. So let us do our best. And it's a very special day today. The birthday of a dear friend of mine, so I'm just going to activate my focus music. And if you don't like it, you can cope equally with me, because this is obviously not going to be a fun game for me. And I prefer to get the misery and just spread it around. Ready. So, SAS, we get forward deployment. We get airborne forward deployment and he doesn't, which is fantastic news. What's faster, this way? Or that way? Boop boop. That's a sharper turn, but it is closer. It is closer. Let's try one in each. Let's see what happens. And so you might attack into here, which is a place that lots of people like attacking. Saxons, of course, have this advantage of being really quite fast off-road.
Waiting for instructions.
Let's not bring up their utility in the current conflict. People might get upset.
Let's go, driver.
So I'm gonna put SS there.
War daddy to red leader. I'm listening. We'll go out.
We're gonna put an SS here.
We'll deploy at this position.
Now, he might open with helicopters, which we've got nothing for. Well, we really don't have anything for that. Oh no, the SAS themselves, of course. Well, what was I thinking? So, I'm going to try putting this here. Putting that there. And, there will be no pain. Because we're going to have fun. Foxes, of course, nerfed. Warriors nerfed. All these nerfs were pointed at First Armoured. But they've had this knock-on effect for Second Armoured, which is not fantastic. And, you know, what do you even do about that? He's not even waiting. He's not even waiting. Yeah, bro. I'm gonna have loads of fun.
Looking for enemy planes. We'll deploy at this position.
Whatever, it's a very special anniversary today, so I'll try not to get upset. So, we've got the ability to do an airdrop into the game, quite far into the game. So that's what we're going to try and do. Got these javelins, got those. We need, realistically, some actual infantry.
I'm listening, Captain.
One back here is probably quite good.
Somebody call for a
One
cab.
back here, obviously, very good if we can get there. WKsVEgcRFOwAGMoAAgA are always useful. Really, really useful recon unit. Just because they take so long to die, makes them quite good. He does get the A10s, which, that's not fantastic. I'm not sure. I mean, the track rape is obviously better because it comes with more missiles, so it can miss more effectively.
I am listening, Captain.
And yeah, some proper infantry would be good. Oh, but if I buy this, then I can't afford supplies for my rapiers.
Ready, sir.
So what's the strategy with second? I think it's just rock up, lose, have pre-prepared cope about how bad your division is. But no, to tell you the truth, this is a division that really can do everything, so there is something to it, and I'm messing around with using these air mobiles and these air mobile leaders to do some kind of 20-minute timing push or something like that. So let's see how this goes. Is everybody moving? I was in a bit of a hurry there. No, they're not. I've got wombats over here.
We'll deploy at this position.
Not. Oh, no problem. I thought you meant good luck, have fun. No. You just have to believe. So we're going heavy on the AA.
Yes, sir.
And it looks like this road was faster, so Hippie topped it. This road is faster than this road.
Somebody call for a cab.
You can thank me later. Obviously, when I win this game, everybody will start
Brace yourself.
copying me.
Flying in.
But if I lose, the strategy will be lost
Ready
to time.
transport.
And you see how fast they are off-road, right?
Their commandant,
The Saxon is really quite a useful vehicle because of that. So, yeah, it looks like he's going to go for that timing attack that we spoke about.
Enemy nearby.
I mean, it would be really cool if we could get a tank, but we cannot afford such things. And we need infantry to sponge, really, because of the meta that we find ourselves in. It's all about that sponginess.
It always comes down to the infantryman and his rifle.
The SAS, of course, giving us this great advantage. Where we have this pre-prepared AA, which will help us to... I'm not selling it, but you know. Right, and then you smoke this guy. And he's already started hitting me with the howitzers. So, Vet3OP, great user of howitzers. It's almost like he has some kind of vendetta against people that complain about artillery changes. If I didn't know any better, that's what I'd say.
Beware, enemy nearby.
Okay, ah, that's a problem. That's a really big problem.
Air or ground targets.
So thankfully we saved this geezer. Here he comes. That didn't take long. No, no, that's not his push. That's not his push. So always worth having a bunch of these. Oh no, that is his push.
At your orders.
Where was that? Okay.
If the enemy's in range, so are we.
This is not in a good place. Neither does this really. Once he breaks through, it's going to be a problem. See how good your AA is, Vet3OP. Man, that's tough. Oh, so we can see that? Oh, of course he can. He's probably going to get stunned before I can even... Yeah, that's rough, dude. Let me through, let me in.
Enemy nearby.
Yes, Captain. It will be faster on the road. At your orders.
Fire Team Law, of course, capable of killing that stuff. Right, I guess the rocket could work against this Fire Team Law spam. And I don't see a whole lot of AA. Although I know he's got something that can hit to there, so that's worth remembering.
Ammo depleted. The sky is ours. Everybody out.
There it is, there's the pivots.
The sky is ours. Ammo depleted.
Nice, we really got a lot done there. Very happy.
Enemy spotted. Gun ready. Checklist completed. Ready to go.
Oh, we don't have the seeds. Don't really need it. Let's get Challenger.
At your orders.
Okay, so we stopped his opening push, which I knew it was coming, and I knew it was coming for there.
You need us, sir.
Having played some more games against Vet3OP,
Platoon full.
I have seen him do that in the
Are we
past.
sure it's safe there? Yes, sir.
Of course, we need to get these terriers over here, really.
It always comes down to the infantryman.
And
his
yeah, we
right.
have the map advantage. He has the division advantage, but he's going to try that again, basically. He might do it down here, he might do it down here. We need to secure our flanks. And we have the advantage. So yeah, he's now going to
Ready, sir.
now going to try and hit the CV.
Andrew, get down.
That's the issue, right? So if it goes out, then you'll see it come back in. But if it doesn't... Ah, that's fantastic. Perfect. But if I was him, I'd just start demolishing all these buildings one at a time, which is what it seems he's looking to do.
Assault formation on me.
So one Terriers there can be exceptionally
The
useful.
sky is ours.
Always shepherd your Gazelle rockets. Did I lose any? I lost one, I think, unless... Yeah, I did. I lost one.
At your orders.
And if he gets in over here, then we've got a problem. But as it stands, we have the advantage.
Baker 5 ready.
Just wish I had some arty. Oh, I do.
Adjusting fire.
See, I'll counter battery him. It won't do anything like
You
that.
have orders,
It
Captain.
makes me feel better.
Hunting for the
Oh, I know what I
enemy.
can hit. I can hit that.
This is Red 2. Enemy spotted.
Here we go again.
Platoon is
Exact same
formed
thing.
and ready.
Exact same thing. Even the same
Alright,
place.
sweethearts. What are you waiting for? Everybody, check your ammo.
Yeah, but you'll still get me
The
if I...
sky is ours.
Right, that's obviously a problem.
Someone need a guardian angel?
Yeah, that's a big problem.
If the enemy's in range, so are we.
Right, that's another big problem. It seems to know that the
This
CV
is
is there.
Red 2. Enemy
Oh
spotted.
man, it's gonna die. I think.
It always comes down to
One
the
more round and it's
infantryman
dead,
and his
obviously.
rifle.
Nope, stop that, stop that. Maybe it can heal. Maybe it can heal.
On the road again.
Oh no, I wanted to save this man, but now I've doomed him. At least we know that up to here is from... Oh, never mind.
Enemy right up. Get in formation.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Oh,
Captain.
here we go, the Challenger, but obviously it takes us a lot of time to get set up over here with these challenges. And as soon as it takes a couple of hits, it becomes useless. You gotta make sure the supply is in position. Arm rifles, obviously not the greatest feat of nature. Oh no, you can see that. ACOs with scouts in front, yeah.
If the enemy's in range, so are we. We need ammo here.
Challenge is obviously very
Make a 5 ready.
very slow. That'll be for the Challenger.
Yes, sir. Baldwin, bring us
Is it?
there.
Is it for Terriers?
All ammo spent.
It was for Challenger. But now we've used our smoke, so that's worth
Anybody need
remembering.
ammo? Roger, redeploying. And platoon formed and ready. Andrew, get there.
Come on, target those tanks.
Flank gesichtet.
Nice. High veterancy means we can take a lot of hits.
Yes, Captain.
Let's put that on counter battery. Still getting hit by something. Oh
Button
shit.
up. We're engaging.
I mean, oh no. This is a family friendly stream.
Halt.
Man, I think that would have been classed as a side hit if that had
Is there something you want burned out
accomplished.
there? Assault
Weird that I
formation
can't.
on
Oh, I
me.
see, it's infantry.
Yes, Captain.
Ah, we've used our
Go
smoke.
back slowly.
That's definitely worth remembering. We might get unlucky critted.
Halt.
Stop to get that accuracy. We're gonna win
It's
that.
on here.
Nice. There he is again. He
Yes,
backs
sir.
off. Great.
Careful.
Good news.
Enemies nearby.
Need some more infantry. Don't float. He's coming over here, really. There you go. See, he's got his guys all the way up now. His recon. That's frustrating.
Just get me
Difficult
out
to deal
here.
with.
Waiting for instructions.
That Saxon's still alive, and it's got his smoke back. So that's great news all around.
At your orders.
Oh man, that's not good.
Match formation.
Let's get this guy in here, really. We can start shooting that.
Oh, I'm hit.
That's not good either.
Yes,
At least we
sir.
can start shooting this Geisa. He'll send them back, because he's a good player.
Assault formation on me.
This man can be healed. Need that to hit the ACAV, really, that's the problem. No, you buffoon, you fool.
One more hit and we're done.
No wonder they name you after marsupial. And he's missing. And now he's dead.
At your orders.
But at least somebody will be able to kill that ACAV.
Go, go, go.
I'm trying to smoke, but I'm pressing all the wrong keys.
All ammo spent. Radio check. Red 1-6 over.
Where's that rapier? I need to move that up, really.
Waiting for
Challenge is
instructions.
finally here. That's obviously not fantastic.
Running out of ammo. Move cautiously, boys.
This guy's still getting hit.
Back
Needs
up! Back up!
somebody there. Terriers are really useful sponges right now in this meta, in this spongy meta.
All ammo spent. Ready, sir.
This tractor. This the real unsung hero here is the Bedford Supply.
Halt!
All right, sweethearts. What are you waiting for?
Vet3OP.
Jagdpanzer bereit. Panzer halt.
Right, fantastic. We've seen off yet another assault.
That's an honor to
He
serve
will
under
be
your
back.
command.
Don't worry. He will be back.
Hold position.
This is
Not
Red
sure
2.
about that,
Enemy
guys.
spotted.
Oh, he's still here.
Waiting for instructions. Move, but
So
watch
forget
our
being
flanks.
back. He never left.
It always comes down to the infantryman and his rifle.
Great.
What's the truth, lads?
We can get this over here, I
Waiting for
suppose.
fire coordinates.
Bravo 1 hier Bravo. Feindgebiet.
Yes, kill that. Good. Glad
Baldwin,
to see
bring
it.
us there. Halt!
He's taking a lot of horrifying trades because of his aggression. He does get the bad side
Yes,
of the map.
Captain. It's hot here.
Ah, did you see how he sends the fire team laws first
What are
to
your
scout
orders,
for the tanks? That is obviously what a smart man does.
Aye.
I hear you loud and clear.
Whoa! I think that was a side hit or something. Man, that hurt a lot.
Ready, sir. Stop the engine. We're moving. Verstanden. Aufführen und fertig.
Oh, I'm hit.
How can he keep doing this? This is an absurdity. He just never runs out of this rubbish. He's been spamming it non-stop.
Can't take it anymore. What are your orders, sir? At your orders. Get ready to engage. It's hot here.
Brauchen Sie Panzerabwehr, Lenkraketen.
If that's yes, dragon, so we're okay.
Waiting for instructions.
And I wonder if his AA is still up. His pivots even. I wish I'd brought that seed, you know. With him using them pivots. Ow.
Yes, Captain. Andrew, get there. Go, go, go. Assault formation.
Actually, that was a
on me.
mistake. That was a mistake. I was too late to do anything about it. Just keep going.
Fire and maneuver. At your orders.
Whoa. Oh no, he's seen this. That's not fantastic.
We can't take it anymore. Enemy right up. Get in formation. The captain of this crew welcome you.
Right, well, with him spamming the dragons, puts an end to that, really, doesn't it?
I'm listening, Captain.
Mayday! Mayday! We'll find them, and then we'll kill them.
I just wish I had some cheap tanks, which I took out of my deck.
Yes, sir. All ammo spent.
He's going for the CV, if he's got a brain. But I have bad AA, and yeah. Oof. Epic dodges. Epic
Red Six
dodges.
mounted up.
Fahrer, dort müssen wir hin. Waiting for instructions.
Yeah, or you could let me win.
I'm hit! I'm hit! If the enemy's
Obviously
in
not
range,
going well. I need
so
some recon around here, really. Plus, you know, because I can't do much without that. Finally you've got ammo.
Drop 200. 6 rounds. Over.
At your orders, Captain.
Every time he does this, it gets harder for him. Because I'm trading better. So,
Hold position.
you know, eventually he just starts running out of
This
stuff.
is Red 2. Enemy spotted.
I will have more units every single time. Uh-oh, that's not
Go
good.
back slowly. I hear you loud
Ow.
and clear. What are your orders, sir? Go back slowly.
Yeah, that's not good either. I need a command tank. I need infantry.
Bravo 1 hier, Bravo.
I need to resupply this man and not let him die. Just move this up a tiny little bit.
Oh, I'm hit.
Go back up. I mean, you know, it takes a lot of effort to keep all this smoked, and he's making mistakes. You can see he's making mistakes in the smoke. Not everything is getting smoked. He's doing a good job of conserving his forces, though. He runs away every time with his remaining guys, so that he can save them for the next one, the next attempt.
Oh, I'm hit.
Ready to supply.
So that's secured. It looks like he's got no plan of going around me. He's just going to keep smacking himself into me until I die. That's how it was losing now. He's not even tried to move this.
Hold position.
Careful, enemies nearby.
Let's buy another arty, because he's going to keep doing that. And if I can just keep him counter-batteried. Where's the javelins? I mean, the rapier's here, but that doesn't matter. More than happy to sit in the smoke if he's going
Assault formation on me.
There we go.
Ready to supply.
Now you got to move this. Doesn't get its own smoke. And that's my fault, actually. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that.
We have orders, boys. Everybody, check your ammo.
I mean, I get obviously he sees the Terry
All
scouts, right?
sweetheart.
Oh,
What
man,
are you
it's
waiting
painful.
for? Ready to fire.
I mean, I've not made any attempt to counter-battery him, and so the beatings will continue until morale improves.
Adjusting fire. What are your orders, sir?
Let's go.
Do I have any more wombats? No.
Enemy right up. Get in formation.
I am listening, Captain.
I wish I'd... I don't know what
Stop here.
I could have more of, really. Might try something a bit funny. See how far I get with it. Probably not very far, but...
What are your orders, sir?
Roger, redeploying. Artillery at your orders. It's hot here. Battery, target, stonk. That's your orders, Captain. HE loaded. Ready
Right,
to fire.
I think we're gonna win! Famous last words. It is looking good for us. Whoa, that's a tow too.
All ammo spent.
Need to get our smoke back.
Reverse, but keep
Whenever that
facing the
happens,
enemy.
get your smoke back. Smoke saves lives. It's crazy. He's even like saving one fire team more. I don't blame him. I mean, I'd do the same if I could.
Andrew,
Here we
get
go
down.
again.
Artillery at your orders. HE, 10 degrees up.
So
Fire
yeah,
at my
artillery's
orders.
been nerfed, but you can see it's still working. We're still both doing our best to arty the ever-loving bejesus out of each other.
That's an honor to serve under your command.
Move, but watch our flanks.
It always comes down
Wish I had
to the
some
infantryman
recon.
and his rifle.
Because as it stands, like, I've got this tank I can't use.
Platoon is formed and ready.
It's also worth noting that you can send these Bedford supplies back and get them resupplied by the helicopters.
This is Red 2, enemy spotted.
I should have been doing, really. How's that happen? I
I'm
just
in
got it.
charge. Stop here.
Waiting for fire coordinates.
Need more. Need more everything. Everything. I cannot afford another tank.
The sky is ours.
See if that works out for us. I don't think it will, but it's worth trying. It's always a lot.
Beware, enemies nearby. Waiting for fire coordinates.
Man, I wish he'd knock it off. I mean,
Battery.
he's
target,
attacking the
stonk.
same place. I hate playing against him.
sir.
Just let me win. Just give up.
Vehicle
Everybody else would have given up by now.
Radio check, Red 1-6, over.
Whoa, the burst on that, man.
That's your orders, Captain.
Bleeding Itos.
Battery, target, stonk. Ready to pound them, sir.
Wir haben Feindkontakt. We'll find them, and then we'll kill them. Someone need a guardian angel? Der Kommandant
What's
begrüßt
that
Sie
for?
an
It's probably for the bleeding Challenger 2. No, I'm saying bleeding too much and now I'm gonna die.
Wir haben Feindkontakt.
Fighter, ready.
Will I get any of them?
Halt!
If only I had good AA.
I hear you loud and clear.
I need more AA, really.
Protect
But that just means you need more AA when that happens.
Ammo completed.
The sky is ours.
Just get me out of here.
Abgesetzene Kampfweise.
That's an honor to serve under your command. Enemy nearby. Protect the gun.
At your orders.
Keep the tanks up, but the thing is that my tanks are hitting his infantry. which is not what you want. Oh, finally hit a tank.
Yes, sir.
But his tanks are also hitting my infantry, and that's kind of how it goes in this meta. Put the infantry first. So every shot on an infantryman is not a shot on a tank. So every division plays like the Soviet Union. It's silly, really, but it is what it is.
Do you have a target, Captain? Roger.
Whoa, that was a side shot. Oh, that's very
Ammo
unpleasant.
spent. Transportation corps ready. Full throttle.
I'm running out of ammo.
What are your orders, sir? Just get me out of here.
Waiting for instructions. Halt!
At your orders.
You see the air mobile actually did something. Oh! What a game. What a game. Vet3OP, extremely good player. Rank 6. Rank 6. So, second. What's the deal with second? What you do is you start on the good side of the map, and then you sit there like a lemon all game. And when he bombs you, you reverse, and when he attacks you, drive forwards. That's the deal with second. You just gotta have the map advantage. Let's have a look at that replay. Let's do a deck review as well. See? And I got a GG. I got a GG from Vet3OP. With an exclamation mark. As you can see, last time I played against him, it didn't go so well. I do want to upload that game. But I accidentally called a... Well, never mind. I just won't get into it. Beautiful day. 27th of February. Focus music. So yeah, he over-relied on Pivads a bit. But then again, I didn't really use much air at all. Apart from those helicopters, and if he'd had Chaparrals in his deck, Chaparrals get 3k range against helicopters. Pivads only get 2,700, 2,400, something like that. So, now we can see everything. ACAV strong. LRS get the ground surveillance radar, which I don't get, but I do get Jaeger Artillery. So yeah, Pivad's good against helicopters in that they stun them straight away. That's really interesting. He started with the M110A2. Oh, of course, yeah, because he knew that I would be in that house. So that's actually really smart. If I hadn't reacted immediately, I would have died in one salvo. So, Vet3OP really showing that artillery is still good. I mean, you saw that, right? The only reason I survived is because I ran off. And then, yeah, you see this push, and he knows that once I start getting the challenges out, it gets a lot harder for him. And so he's pushing with M113A3 Dragons and Fireteam Law. You need auto cannons to stop this, basically. M113A3 nerfed to 2 front armor instead of 3. But yeah, if you've got a guy in this building, it's basically impossible to push this point, and that's why he blew it up. And then obviously I got back in, but I was too low. By then he was in position. But before that, it would have been pop, 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 pop. All those would have died. But yeah, the Warrior Milan's goods, Gazelle's goods. His Pivads was just slightly out of position. If this was a Chaparral, I'd be toast. The Harrier rocket saved me, actually. That killed like 4 units. That was the only air I used all game, apart from ASF, so that saved me. That Ito survived all game, I think. And then, yeah, nothing happening down here. And you'll notice that he bought the arty and then it never stopped firing. Literally never stopped firing. Just move, shoot, move, shoot, move, shoot. And that's what you want to get the most out of your artillery. Let's look. And that's how it works, man. So now he's hitting this, because these are popular spots. If you want to attack across here, I'm going to hit you here. What I would say is he kept attacking the same place over and over and over again for the whole game. And, you know, once you do it a couple of times, I start to get the idea. And so I just had more and more every single time. Every time he attacked, I took better trades because I'm defending, so it's easier to take good trades when you're defending. And this just kept happening. Yeah, that guy dies eventually. You'll notice that his guys are all 1 vet as well, because he wants to spam them as much as possible. Whereas mine are 2 vet, exception of the terriers. And then they're going up to 3 when the Saxon's here. So that, you know, before the changes, artillery would have killed that. And yeah, great work with the M60s. I mean, if he just had a bit more infantry here, like if he'd waited another minute, then these guys could have stayed here. No recon. Well, the recon's here actually. Could have had an anti-air, so yeah, he does have recon. So that was going for the Challenger, which wasn't actually there. And we got him with the 2 tracked rapiers and 3 SAS. And you see that when he's pushing, so the pivads is you know, it's there. But if he'd had a chaparral, it wouldn't have had to have been so close. And the chaparral would have gone 1, 2, 3, 4, killed 2 of them maybe. I need to stop saying That's my character development. I'm gonna try and say less. I can't stop. So yeah, every time the same thing. The counter battery got this down to half. The main thing's the so I think if low cohesion on arty made the circle really big like it does in Wargame, I think then you'd have something really cool going on with counter battery. And yeah, he's very aggressive, so he finally gets in here, and those mortars constantly shooting. And they're 81mm, which are the ones that I said were rubbish, and he used them really well, so I'm wrong. I could have had this SAS go up here and hit that Cobra. Look at it, the whole game. So much cheap stuff. How much does this cost? 40 for the Dragon, 20 for the M11303. Okay, I think that's reasonable, to be honest. Yeah, I think that's a reasonable price. Meanwhile, my challenges are expensive, but I didn't lose a single one all game. And look, I'm taking advantage of the Saxon to get the veterancy, whereas he can't really do that for the Mutt because he's attacking, right? He could have had a tank CV and tried it with that, but then once you lose it, your hair falls out. Hair starts going grey. And 8th doesn't get the HA. That was bad. 8th doesn't get the HA, and so the Challenger will beat an M1A1. Obviously M1A1 a lot cheaper. Oh, that's weird. They have the same pen. 50 points more. What am I getting? I'm getting armor, which is extremely useful. And yeah, so keeps attacking across here. Could have done with smoking this part when he attacked down here, just because I'm hitting him in the sides. But he's also got a smoke down here, because I can hit him in this side. And this is the issue with attacking across here. So yeah, I do have the better side of the map. I've lost a lot of games to people attacking down here at the start. But I had the 2 SAS there, and he doesn't get forward deploy. So yeah, chaparrals don't really kill these unless you, when you get routed, you go forwards and die. He did a great job with these F-16s, getting them like a couple at a time. I kept driving back though. But I wasn't killing them. This was a kind of a mistake. But his entire AA is just pivads. Just pivads. If he'd had, I mean that dies, so it works. If he'd had a chaparral, I think that really would have added. Because one of the things is that as soon as the engineers get close, I hit him with the Gazelle rockets. And so he's got to have AA with these guys. So another thing you can do is put stingers in the push, because they can get closer with their exceptional stealth. But the idea with the chaparral, which I've mentioned about 10 times now, because I'm running out of things to talk about, is that you can hit them at 3 kilometers. I should have moved these, this was dumb. Realistically, I should have pressured this, but I was just, you know, everything was going into this meat grinder here. You see, he keeps everything smoked up. But it's difficult, because he has to, if he's attacking into here, he has to keep all this smoked and all this smoked, because I can hit him from both sides. That's obviously not easy. And his artillery was basically firing all game. Of course, the rapier gets 3 kilometer range against helicopters, so he can't be aggressive with his helicopters because I can hit those. I also run 3 cards of supply, which gives me the advantage, and I'm not gonna... Yeah, I will do deck review. I will do deck review. Which you should have already seen. Now, finally get some recon up here, but he ends up dying to the artillery. I should have really had a recon here, so useful. And then you can have the tank there and keep shooting. Another thing I wanted to do was send all the air mobiles around. I sent one to here, and then he got it with the Cobras, but it, you know, it did something at least. But yeah, heli drops without air support, not fantastic. Trying to think, can you get javelins in... Can you get javelins in Lynxes? Don't think so. So yeah, my artillery not quite as good as his. It's a little bit worse. But yeah, I destroyed the building. It doesn't actually take any damage. I think all 3 shells missed him. And at this point, you know, it's basically over. Like, at the second push it ended just because at this, you know, I'm just taking 2 good trades and he cannot fight it. Like, the first one was the strongest push, and from then, every time he takes a worse trade than me because he's attacking, I just have more and more stuff. So now he's finally got the M1 Abrams. But it's just, yeah, it's tough. And all I have to do is sit here, so the micro burden is on him. Because all I have to do is just make a line, as you can see. Somebody gets deleted, I send them back to supply. And so it's just exceptionally difficult for him to do anything. Here we go. So these F-16s must have seen it, because they get good air optics. Now this was cool, but they all missed because I drove backwards. But they all survived. I really wish I'd had Seed because of his reliance on pivots. And there you go. So if I'd had the air mobile CV, I could have actually dropped it there. Because this man managed to get away, and the only reason it seems that actually he noticed because this came back this way and he saw it. So that was a bit daft of me, because yeah, now here we go. Really tough for him. I reckon something he could have done, maybe, is attack this. Because if you attack here, as we spoke about, you can be shot from both sides. But if you attack here, you can only be shot from one side, really. So there's less to smoke. And once again, you see the changes to clusters. He actually hits me there, and it doesn't kill me because of the changes to clusters. Which I actually agree with, the changes to clusters. The bombers, I think, need their spread increased a little bit. Yeah, GG. I don't think I looked at my APM. I think I already checked this. Challenger, so without the Mavericks, does he get A10 AT? I can't remember. I think he might get F16 AT. Could use Mavericks to try and snipe the Challengers. Good game, well played. Obviously it's always nice when I win. I don't upload the ones where I don't.